colleague found the daughter-in-law and told her a shocking secret, saying that she saw her husband at the horse ranch with a young lady, and the two looked very intimate, reminding her to be careful. Returning to the car, she could not accept this reality. Did her husband choose the horse ranch as the dating place? She couldn't help but think of a previous encounter at a theater where a woman was wearing her husband's limited edition down jacket, but her husband only explained that the clothes were given to a same-sex friend and she didn't think much of it. But now all kinds of signs indicate that there is something fishy going on. At this moment, her husband called and wanted to go to the horse ranch again. Xiaoying barely held back her emotions and hung up the phone, shaking her hand to start the car, and decided to investigate for herself. When she arrived at the horse ranch, she found that it was only her husband who was riding a horse. It turned out to be a false alarm and she heaved a deep sigh of relief. But she didn't know that just a few minutes ago, this woman had just left. The sudden visit of the daughter-in-law made the cheating man become vigilant. That night, he came to Ame's house and ruthlessly proposed a breakup, regardless of her retention, and just left. When the man returned home, he still talked and laughed as usual, specially bought baked sweet potatoes to make the two ladies in the house happy, and casually played with the feelings of the three women between his fingers. It's really not ordinary. After returning to the room, the stepmother looked at the full moon in the sky with a silly look, thinking about how to take the stepson for herself and still being immersed in a beautiful dream. An unexpected thing came to the door. Due to being lovelorn, Ame had been drinking heavily for a long time and came to the man's hospital for hospitalization. When the man learned the news, he directly used his job to give her an upgraded VIP ward. On this side, Xiaoying received a call that her mother suddenly became seriously ill and was also urgently sent here. When she called her husband, the call could not be connected. Just after arriving at the hospital, she was slapped hard on the face by her aunt and was asked how she took care of her mother. She was placed in the dean's ward and went to find her husband. When she found the ward, the nurse said, as soon as she got close to the door, she unexpectedly found her husband and another woman being affectionate with each other. It was simply a bolt from the blue. She could not stand this double blow and only felt dizzy for a moment and fainted. When she woke up, she had been settled. Crying, she came to her mother's ward and learned that her mother had no immediate life danger, but the cancer cells had spread throughout the body. She felt more guilty, wanted to speak but could not make a sound. The huge blow made her suffer from aphasia. Her mother didn't have much time left, and her husband had an affair behind her back. The breakdown of adults is just a moment. Now she can only write it down one by one on her mother's body in this way to express her feelings. Her mother felt it, and the daughter also felt her repentance, and a line of tears ran down the corner of her eyes. Eventually, she passed away peacefully. The daughter was broken down and could hardly accept it. This time, it was the mother-in-law who comforted the daughter-in-law and advised her to be strong and to live well. Turning her head, she showed the hand of the daughter-in-law's handsome colleague and didn't forget to eat some tender tofu. When everything was over, Xiaoying thought of the past and felt extremely guilty. Looking up, she suddenly saw her mother, reached out but made a failed grab, and came out and couldn't find the mother's figure. Everything was a phantom. The next morning, she disappeared. When she opened the door and saw the face inside, she pretended that she had accidentally gone to the wrong ward. Originally, she wanted to know what kind of ability the woman who was hidden by her husband in a golden house had. Every night, she would look at a place in a dazed state. The mother-in-law advised her that everything would get better. When she saw her go away, she said what was in her heart.
그냥 그렇게 확실히 마탱이 가든가. 병실 많겠다. 죽을 때까지라도 특질 내줄 테니까.
And then went to the stepson to talk about the bad words of the daughter-in-law. When her father-in-law passed away, she was still lively, and when her own mother was gone, she was soulless. It was really making a big deal out of nothing.